America, while your president threatens to annex NATO allies, rest assured that that is nothing compared to the 50-year standoff that Canada had over a cold, barren, inhabitable chunk of limestone in the middle of nowhere. Instead of bombs or bullets, we fought with flags and booze. This is the real-life saga of Hans Island, where two nations fought over nothing and achieved everything. It started in the 1970s, when Denmark and Canada were drawing maritime borders between Greenland and Canada. They breezed through over 1,400 miles of icy water lines, but got hung up on a rock. Not much bigger than this. Both sides... Dude, it's a metaphor. Fine, a 1-kilometer island. Both sides... Bro, stop! Both sides said it was theirs. Both sides had half-decent reasons, and instead of solving it like your average superpower with tanks and press conferences, they decided to just leave it there. And for 50 years, this uninhabited island, barely the width of downtown Whitehorse, just sat there. Then in 1984, shit gets real. Canada moves in the troops. They plant down a flag, put down a bottle of whiskey, and leave. Denmark comes by the following year, yanks our flag, plants their own, and drops off their own bottle. This back and forth continues for decades. Each time, a flag, a bottle of booze. People still call this the Whiskey War for that reason, but this wasn't all like jokes and giggles. Both sides actually cared about this. They had historical claims and maritime law on their minds. They brought in Inuit communities who, of course, had owned and used the land for centuries. Inuit hunters from both sides called it Tartupaluk for generations and probably thought the whole whiskey thing was ridiculous. Like watching two dads on the ice argue over who gets to name the fishing hole. And then, 3 years ago, after 17 years of negotiations, it was over. A deal signed in the most rational way possible. We split the island down the middle, like two elderly church ladies splitting the last butter tart on the tray, politely, but with just a little hint of judgment. The best part is that there was already a line in the rock all along, a natural crack that ran down the middle of it. 50 years, and they only realized it now. And in true fashion, they sealed the deal with one last booze swap. This, by the way, is what diplomacy done by adults looks like. And you know, decades from now, when kids in Nunavut learn about Hans Island, they won't learn about a war. They'll learn about wisdom. About two nations that shared a past, saw a future, and made a choice to build a border that didn't divide people, it united them. That's the kind of map Mr. Trump should be drawing. Not one of conquest, one of cooperation. And if he wants to leave something behind, let it be a little bit of humility and a bottle of Hawaiian whiskey. Oh, come on, for